Welcome to Ellis B. Feaster's Radio Aircheck and Classic TV channel.
14 after the hour here in the Imus Talks program. So I was talking about, I told you I was listening to this tape of me and Wolfman back in 74, I believe it was. But I was talking to somebody else about the first station where I worked was KUTY in Palmdale, 1470 on your AM dial. And I went to the Don Martin School of Radio and Television Arts and Sciences in Hollywood. And I was able to go there because, having been in the Marine Corps, I had the GI Bill. But I got thrown out of the Don Martin School because they didn't like my attitude. So I was still working for the, and I think also I didn't pay them. That was part of it. Because the GI Bill, they would send the money to me, and I was supposed to give it to the school, but I mean, I didn't have any money. So I'm out of, I think there was something there. So I was working for the railroad at the time as a freight brakeman, and my brother and I, Fred, we worked together on the railroad sometimes. And I lived in Hollywood, and we were driving up to Palmdale, which is about 55 miles from L.A., to catch a train to work on. And I had just been booted out of the Don Martin School, and I got but I had a little audition tape I put together. And I got turned down. Every place I sent the tape, nobody would hire me. So we're driving up, listening to the radio, and we're listening to KUTY in Palmdale. It was a rock and roll station at the time. And Fred says to me, "You're better than that guy." But I was so nervous about it, I was afraid to go in and ask for a job. But he made me. We got there early, so we didn't have to catch the train. And the station was right there behind we just drive right up to it, a little one shack deal. So I went in, and the program director was on the air. And and then the girl at the desk, she sent me in. He was on the air. They sent me in to talk to him then while he was on the air. And I handed him my tape, and he says, "I'll listen to it in Q," whatever. I don't know what that meant. So while he's playing In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, or who knows what it was, he listened to my audition tape in Q, and he hired me on the spot. And he said, "Can you start Saturday?" I said, "Yeah, I believe I can." So I did. It was Saturday, June 1st, 1968. So I went back and I was looking at Wikipedia this morning. Then I'm looking at the KUTY 1470 website. But wouldn't you think that in their history of their radio station, that having had one of the most significant figures in the history of broadcasting, period, me, that they would make a huge deal out of that?
No doubt. They didn't?
Well, they don't really.
Oh, my God.
I mean, they talk about the significant people who work. Some of the most famous people in broadcasting. What do they say? Let me see if I can find it here. What is it? Some of the country's greatest DJs got their start at KUTY during the 1960s, including Don Imus, Bob Shannon, Pat Garrett, Rog Martin, Bob Kingsley, Gary Marshall, and Billy Pearl.
Ah, that's ridiculous.
Rog Martin.
Come on.
Are you crazy?
Can't put that in the same sentence.
Huh?
That'll be like saying some of the all-time greats worked at WFAN. Mark Malusis, John Yastrzemski, and Don Imus.
John Minko?
What?
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Can't be in the same sentence as you.
But it was from there that I went to KJO in Stockton and got fired, and from there I went to KXOA in Sacramento and met Jack Thayer and the Giant Frog and John Lund. And we went to Cleveland, and I went to New York, and a couple of years later was doing a show on the NBC network with the great Wolfman Jack. Who could figure that?
Wow.
I went from making $86 a week to making $100,000 a year, and that was a lot of money in those days.
Wow.
Still is.
Have mercy.
In a little over 2 years, good God Almighty. Did you think I saw that coming? Come on, go stop it.
Hell no.
Come on.
I see that coming. Yeah, I had that plan. So.
By the way, this June is the 50-year anniversary.
Yes, it would be.
50 years, yeah.
But I was going to work until the bankruptcy. I was going to work until December. But because my contract was up then. But the bankruptcy changed that, so now which is fine, which is now March 29th, which is also fine. Anyway, 20 minutes after the hour, time for a little sports. Here with that is the great Sid Rosenberg.
Thank you. Good morning, I-Man. How are you? A big story here locally, baseball. Todd Frazier, who was a very good player with the White Sox. He actually won a Little League World Series.